Good afternoon, everyone, and I hope you all had an enjoyable weekend. Yeah.
The Federal Reserve, or the Fed, as it's more commonly known, was established in 1913. It acts as a central banking system for the United States. It is further divided into 12 district banks. The Fed was created in order to accomplish the following: conduct the management of the nation's money supply with the objective of price stabilization, supervise banking institutions in order to ensure their soundness, maintain stability of the financial system, provide financial services to a variety of financial entities such as banks and the United States. Sounds like they've done one hell of a great job. In fact, prior to the Fed's creation, consumer prices remained virtually stable. Since 1913, the dollar has lost an incredible 97% of its value. Our banks are a complete mess because of the Fed and its utter mismanagement of interest rates and the creation of asset bubble upon asset bubble. Maintain stability of the financial system? Are you kidding? What most people don't realize is that the Federal Reserve is very likely privately owned. Now, in fairness, I can't prove it because the Fed is shrouded behind an incredible cloak of secrecy. But it can be proven that its 12 district banks are privately owned, as was the case in 1982 when a judge ruled so in John L. Williams v. US of A. So, it's logical to conclude that the Fed itself is privately owned. The owners of the Fed are believed to include some powerful entities, such as Goldman Sachs. Now, don't you find it just a little bit coincidental that employees of Goldman Sachs are constantly given senior governmental positions, like head of the Treasury, while departing senior governmental advisors are given very lucrative positions at Goldman Sachs? Finally, it's important to point out that the Federal Reserve refuses to be audited. In fact, Fed Chief Ben Bernanke has repeatedly warned of catastrophic consequences if one were to be conducted. Given their obvious ineptitude, it isn't too tough to speculate as to why. The only conclusions I can draw are that either they're trying to cover up their ineptitude, or more likely, they have been involved in some nefarious activities.
I've been talking about it for decades and arguing that we had a financial system that was very friable, very vulnerable, and it was the Fed that was creating the bubbles. And therefore, we should be looking into it and preventing these problems rather than waiting for cataclysmic financial crisis to hit.
Ron Paul has introduced legislation to audit the Fed. This legislation has a very high level of bipartisan support. However, the slowness of Congress and the unfortunate influence of a handful of congressmen has so far precluded the audit. Nonetheless, I believe it will ultimately occur. Thanks for watching.
Right now, the motivation is to know what kind of shenanigans the Federal Reserve has been up to and how they've been wheeling and dealing and bailing out their friends. Congress deals in hundreds of billions of dollars. The Federal Reserve deals in trillions.